Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Thank you for the kind invitation to speak at this event honoring the 70th United Nations Commission to Support Women. I am grateful. I'd like to speak about the importance of equipping women to inspire and lead. I speak from the Bhakti Yoga tradition, a tradition that honors Sri Radha, the divine feminine above all else, Sri Krishna as her divine masculine counterpart, and reveres love of God as the highest human aspiration. Yet surprisingly, even within this esteemed tradition, the power of women is often feared, and attempts to give women a voice are often dismissed. Some worship the goddess as divine, but consider her earthly sisters a threat. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said that power at its best is love implementing the demands of justice. Justice at its best is love correcting everything that stands against love. Teilhard de Chardin, the French scientist and Jesuit priest, tells us that love is the most radical and revolutionary force, the one that compels us to care for the world as a living body of which we are a part. Each of us is a living, intrinsic part of the body of this world. Every living being is her sacred part. We women need to know that our true power is the power of love, the power of the Spirit. When the mothers, wives, and daughters of this world are dishonored, it opens the door for our children to be abused, Mother Earth to be exploited, and our communities to be unraveled. Women are traditionally the holders of community, and women deserve the sanctity of being heard, seen, and cherished. The pyramid of power in our culture has been subverted. The truths of diversity, equity, and inclusion have been usurped by forces of hate and bigotry, hate against women, hate against minorities, hate against the disenfranchised, and hate against those seen as the other. We need to invert this pyramid of power and place the earth, the trees, the animals, and the disenfranchised of all societies, all living beings, at the top. And we ourselves looking up, honoring them all, serving them all as cherished and beloved. This inclusive, deeply spiritual worldview that honors all living beings travels far beyond the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights. The most powerful, revolutionary, and compassionate voices among women have been the women of the Spirit. Rosa Parks, Dorothy Day, Mother Teresa, Harriet Tubman, those who saw and acted in their times to uplift the rights of the downtrodden, the disenfranchised, the outsider, the stranger, and even the slave. Men who are spiritually advanced in all cultures also show a highly developed feminine sense of compassion, kindness, and selfless care. Jesus Christ, St. Francis, Sri Chaitanya. It's even said that Muhammad himself would not even kill a harmless insect. Often in every culture, people of all genders find more solace and shelter in the merciful, more compassionate feminine side of divinity. In Christianity, Mother Mary. In Tibetan Buddhism, the goddess of mercy Tara. The Sufi poet Rabia. And Sri Radha, the divine feminine goddess of the Bhakti Yoga tradition. Yet, the voices of women in almost every age and every culture are put down, ignored, silenced, and feared, really. So how do we equip women to inspire and lead? Do we need a mandate or funding from a government institution or corporate foundation? Do we need approval from those who might oppose us? I take inspiration from many places. One of them is a simple, illiterate village woman named Sindhutai Saptal from Maharashtra in India. She was 19 years old as her story begins. She was married, pregnant, and already had 2 children. A man in her village was abusing the women. Sindhutai was a whistleblower, and she reported him to the police. Out of vengeance, that abusive man came to her husband and told him that the child Sindhutai was carrying was his and not her husband's. Out of anger, her ignorant husband beat her and threw her in a cowshed to die. Her story is a long and heartrending one, but I will share only one small part. Somehow she survived, and feeling completely hopeless, with her newborn daughter in her arms, she was sitting under a tree near a train station contemplating suicide. She looked up and noticed that the branch above her that was giving her shade was broken and dangling by a thread. She thought to herself, I am also broken, like this branch, but this branch is giving me shade. Although I am broken, like this branch, I could also try to help, try to give some relief to others. She got up, walked over to the train station, and began bringing water to thirsty, elderly, suffering people there. Later, she began helping abandoned orphans. She became known as the mother of the orphans. People noticed her selfless good work and began donating to help her. She eventually opened orphanages, and after time, she was honored by the United Nations, traveling and speaking about her work in 15 different countries. Rosa Parks once said that knowing what needs to be done does away with fear. But sometimes, although we see what needs to be done, we also see many obstacles to getting it done. I keep an image in my heart from a prayer of a long-suffering woman saint from the Bhakti tradition named Kunti Devi. Unlike Sindhutai, she was a queen, yet her situation was described as being like a she-deer in the midst of wolves. She prayed to her beloved Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, and I quote, as the Mother Ganges finds her way to the sea without being deviated by anything else, please let my love flow to you without being hindered by anything else. Remembering the words of Rosa Parks, when I see what needs to be done, I pray to also flow, like water around any obstacles, like Mother Ganges finds her way to the sea. Like the powerful Ganges, I pray to be a force for transformation, finding a way to inspire others to lead, to find our source as vessels of divine compassion. But we must be vigilant. As we try to lead others, we must be cautious, wary of deploying what we think of as righteous anger. There is a danger when combating evil that evil can slip in and become a part of us. So how can I be inspired to lead in tune with the power of universal compassion, seeing that every living being, and not just human beings, is entitled to the same quality of honor and respect? In this sacred work, how can I not succumb to the same hate and violence that defiles our world? A dear friend asked me, how do you go on when you see so much hate, bigotry, and discrimination against women in the world? How do you go on? I answered that I remember that I'm not walking this path alone. I'm walking shoulder to shoulder and arm in arm with every woman who's ever walked for nonviolent civil disobedience. I remember that whenever I speak out or step up, that I'm amplifying the voices of other women who are finding the courage to speak truth to power. And I remember that progress is measured by small steps moving in the right direction. And I remember that I'm walking in the footsteps of saints who shed tears for the suffering of others. And in closing, I'd like to share a vow made by the poet and naturalist Diane Eckerman. She offers this inspiration to all who hope to lead with the power of authentic compassion. She shares with us, "I swear I will not dishonor my soul with hatred, but offer myself humbly as a guardian of nature, as a healer of misery, as a messenger of wonder, and as an architect of peace." Thank you all very much.